G'day everyone, it is Jai, that Aussie metal guy here with Crack.com. Today, tonight, wherever you are in the world, I'm absolutely stoked and genuinely honoured to be chatting with a musician whose fingerprints are across some of the heaviest, fastest and most forward-thinking metal of the last 2 decades through Dragon Force, Sinsaenum, and we're driving into the new era of Kreator, the thrash titans themselves. Frédéric Leclercq, a guy who's not only helping drive this next chapter for the German legends, but also continues to push extreme metal boundaries. Kreator's new record, Krushers of the World, is dropping January 16th via Nuclear Blast. They've got a whole bunch of cool shit on next year as well, including that massive world tour with Carcass, Exodus, and Nails coming in spring 2026. Fred, thank you for joining me after that.
Way, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolute bloody pleasure, man. You joined over in 2019. What was it like getting the call up to come over and join the Teutonic Thrash Legends?
That was great. I've known Miller for a long time actually. Like the first time I met him was in 2002 at a Ed Guy concert. And he was in the background, just there on his own. And I just went to him, just like, "Are you the guy from Creator? Because I really like that." And he was just like, "Yeah, that's me. But do you play in a band?" I was like, "Yeah, I play in a band called Heaven." He was like, "Oh yeah, from France, like the power metal band." And I was like, "Yeah, that's correct." And he was like, "Yeah, I like that." I'm like, "Oh, do you?" And we just like started to chat, and we both uh liked King Diamond and Merciful Fate. And we're just like, yeah, singing high. So we were like drinking red wine. Anyway, so that was fun. And so that was like, yeah, before I joined Dragon Force. So we bump into each other like many times in festivals and whatnot. And 2019, that's around the time we were Dragon Force was about to release. I think the album's called Extreme Power Metal. That's my last one with them, and I was not happy with the direction. It was going back to that sort of ultra beat down vibe, and that's not what I wanted. And I'm still friends with the guys, and I'm super happy with what's happening to them, and it's great. But it was not that's not how I wanted to portray myself. I just turned 40. I was about to turn 41, and I was just like, this is not how I see myself, like being on a space motorbike, talking about dragons. And I love video games and whatnot, but that's not, and but at the same time, I'm just like, well, I don't have anything else. So I mean, that's what I'm supposed to do. And then Miller called me out of the blue. And he was like, "Oh, we have a problem with our bass player. So would you be able to do two shows with us? One is in headlining in Chile, and the other one was also in Chile, playing with Anthrax and Slayer." And I was like, "Hey, sounds great." Unfortunately, that's happening around the time I'm supposed to be on tour with Dragon Force, so I can't really, bail just like that. But if you want me for so now he actually called me. That was on my birthday, so I was still drunk from the celebration. I was on my way from Hellfest to go to Sweden to mix Amahiro, which is like the melodic band that I have with Saki, the Japanese. I'm sorry, this is very complicated, but
No, no, keep it going.
yeah, yeah.
I
And
love it.
so I just got to the airport. And I'm still drunk from the night before, and I opened my bag. And I'm like, someone stole my laptop, my Bluetooth speaker, and my headphones. So it's just, oh fuck, that sucks. And then I look at my phone, just like, oh, missed call from Miller. Oh, okay. So I went from like, oh, I lost that, to Miller telling me this, and I'm just telling him like, well, um, if um if you want me for two shows, I can't say yes. But if you want me for like a full, to be in the band, then yes, let's do that. And he was just like, yeah, okay. So that's how it happened. And I was just like, yeah. So that was the nice birthday present, after like, and so I joined the band, and it's been amazing. Like I was nervous a little bit for, when we rehearsed. So the first one was Violent Revolution. I was like, I don't know. And then by the second one, which was Extreme Aggressions, I was just like, okay, that's it, family time, I know that we were looking at each other, smiling, and that was great. I didn't have like an audition. That was like the rehearsal for the show. If I had sucked, that was it. They were stuck with me anyway. But but yeah, no, so everything's been great. And then we, COVID hit, but we worked on 80 Alice, and
Oh
then
yeah.
the new album is there. So sorry, that was a very, very long answer for a quick question, but so
It
yeah.
was absolutely perfect for what I'm doing here, mate. Absolutely bloody perfect. And that Hate Uber Alles dropped in 2022. It was an
Yeah.
absolutely ripping album there with your bass arrangements, kind of just setting the tone for that. How do you feel your role has evolved coming into Crushers of the World? Because your mid-tempo grooves in this are just and I've always loved your bass, but in this album, man, I was bouncing away to this all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Tracks like that, Anarchy, Crushes to the World, just had this awesome mid-tempo groove through it, as does the whole album, man, which rips.
Mm-hmm. I guess it very soon in the game when I joined the band, when we started to work on the song together, the first one was like 666 World United, and I was already very proactive in the sense that that was the first time. So before that, it was just rehearsing songs that already existed, to be able to perform them together in a live situation. But 666 World United was just like I was getting, so what are the dynamics? Who does what? And Miller came. That's how it works. Miller comes with like the material, and then we just arrange everything together because he needs to be able to sing and perform and to feel the lyrics, so it all comes from him and it makes total sense. I've tried to send him riff and just like, well, I love the riff, but I need to be able to sing on top, and it's not, it has to come naturally from him, and we adapt around so that it makes total sense. And so when we started to work on 666 World United, I was like, okay, I'm new in the band, but you guys wanted me. I'm very proactive when it comes to music. I've got like very, I can be very directive, but it's all for the greater good, So don't be surprised. And there was that room existed, that space for me to exist because they were pretty loose and let the producer do the work, and but I was there just like, okay, Sammy, you're doing this, and Milo, you're doing that. That doesn't work together. And how about we do that? And same with, no, and they were just like, oh, great, good on you, mate. Sort of, it's just like that's cool. So I really, I, I didn't want to impose, but also I didn't want to be in the back seat just doing nothing. So I'm like, if you join a band, it's like to improve things and to, so. And it's been the same since that day. I mean, they know, I know my role, which is like it's checking the harmonies, making sure that everybody knows what they're playing. Try to come up with like different melodies and different stuff, and that's what I've been doing on Hey Tuba Alles. Hey Tuba Alles, I was doing a lot of the pre-production, and it was just like spread out because it was during COVID time, so we had a lot of time, to work on stuff. This one was a bit more compact, which was great, but I still obviously came up with my bass lines, but also rearranging, like cutting some, and everybody does anyway.
Yeah.
But I do that to because I'm the one recording in the rehearsal room. I come with the computer, check the demos, which means like I'm the one editing the demos in the afternoon when everybody's like fucks off. And can I say
Yeah, we
swear
can
words
swear.
or shall
We're
I?
Aussies. We can swear all we fucking want, mate.
Yeah,
It's
fuck
hard not
yeah. Okay,
to.
great. So yeah, when everyone fucks off, I'm the one, working on the songs, which means like I can just like, in a very subtle way, just add an extra guitar or just like change that and just like, well, I was thinking, and it's good, it's nice that way, just like subtle, But so that's what I do, and then when we were in the studio recording, I had set like a little room where we could work on the solos because, I'm a guitar player as well. So I come up with like melodies for the solos, challenging Sammy to bring him new ideas and like, because he's got his own style, which is great. But, he was the one just going, "Hey, if you have any ideas." So like, for example, that melody in Tränenpalast, like the da 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 da, all that whole section. That's me, just like that, something I wrote. So I'm contributing in different levels, and but like I said, everybody does that in a certain way. But as far as I'm concerned, that's what I do, and that's great. I think hopefully people like it, but if they don't, it's fine. Too late. Ha.
Yeah, well, I knew you were going to be a perfect fit, as you mentioned. You and Mel have been friends for years as well, and it just seemed
Yeah.
like this a mutual respect and admiration, not only as a friend but professionally for what you brought to it. Because you can do power metal, you can do black metal as well. You know, you can do thrash metal as well, and you
Mm,
did kind of mention Trannon Palace as well with Britta as well
yeah.
from the black metal band Heroes as well, which kind of feels like an homage to Dario Argento's Suspiria as
hmm
well. Tell us a little bit about that track and kind of bringing her on board.
So it's not just the Dario Argento's one, but like the remake as well. That because that's so we've Miller and I are big fans of horror movies. So
Yeah.
obviously we've seen like the original one. And more to the point, I love Goblin, which is the Italian band that wrote the music for Suspiria, but also they did Profondo Rosso, Dawn of the Dead, Zombie, whatever it's called in Australia. They did what did I say? Phenomena. They did a lot of like soundtracks, Tenebre, Buio Omega, Blue Holocaust. Anyway, so there's a remake of Suspiria that came late 2010-ish, something. So 2018, 20, I don't know, not so long ago. And we were talking about it with Miller, just, have you checked it? I'm like, no, not yet. And he's like, oh, you should, it's great. And I remember watching it, and when we do that, we just like write to each other, so, oh, did you like it? Or, oh, I really enjoyed, and I remember I said, "Wow, there's a scene. It's called Palace of Tears, because like it's divided in chapters, and one of them, yeah, it says like Palace of Tears, Treven Palace. Just like, wow, that would be such a cool name for like a song. I'm like, oh, okay. I think I told him that while we were on tour with Anthrax. I think actually, and then anyway, he was working on the songs, and he wanted to write something about that movie, and while working on that, he just tried to rearrange that melody from the Goblin, the dun 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 dun, just by moving it by a the original is like 1, 2, 3, 4. Bum, 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 bum. It starts on the two. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, and the one we have for the song is like on the one is like bum 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 bum. Or is it the other way around? No, I'd say the other way around. The original is on the one and we're on the two. Anyway, sorry. And so uh we got the okay from Goblin to use the melody, and the song, the chorus goes Suspiria, right? But we didn't get the okay from the movie right owners, so we can't call the song Suspiria. So Miller sends me a message randomly, just like, just catching up, and he said, "Oh, by the way, we can't use Suspiria." I'm just like, "Hey, how about we call it like, remember when I said like Palace of Tears or Tränenpalast?
Yeah.
That's in German." And he was just like, "Oh yeah, all right, fine." So that's how it ended up being called that, which is also it's nice because it's a German title, for German bands, which makes total sense. And as for Britta,
Nice.
I've known her since 2018 because she was in a band called Critical Mess, and
Okay.
they opened for Sinsaenum on a few shows in Europe,
Yeah.
and Miller knows her, of course, and so does Jens. And they were both in studio finalizing the vocals. And then I think it's Jens who suggested just, oh, maybe we should have like someone, doing the answering, since like also the it does make sense because the movie is also like has a lot of like female characters. It's mainly just that.
Yeah.
So then Britta's name came about, and then she was supposed to do only the choruses, and and then her voice was so cool that we went just like, fuck, maybe she should do the verses as well, like, and that's how we ended up being on the album. And it's amazing because I know the version obviously with just Miller, and it's a great song, but it really just like it's yeah, 100 times better with Britta. She's got an amazing voice, and it just like gives like the whole song a different vibe, and it's great. So it's like one of the best collaborations the band has been doing so far, in our opinion, not just me. So yeah, yeah. So I think it's great, and yeah, Britta is amazing. So I'm very happy that she's on the album.
Yeah, I'd come across her music a little while ago. It was sent through PR. I can't remember which one, a few years ago, and I kind of was
Hmm.
like really taken aback and blown away by how good they were, and was instantly
Yeah, yeah.
sold. And it was a
Uh-huh.
name that kind of stuck out in my head as well. You know, when you hear some bands, you're like, oh, that's fucking good, and you kind of they
Yeah.
stick there for some reason. So when I seen Britta's name kind of pop up with this, I was super excited as well. And as
Mm.
you said, it does really do it justice as well, having her voice on there too. Another song that does justice in a single that's out is the Seven Serpents, the opening of the album, man.
Mm.
Killer track to kind of fucking kick it off with. Tell us about that one, man.
Yeah, I mean that song since we all heard it, we're just like, yeah, I guess that's the first single. Yeah,
Yep.
that's the first song on the album. It makes it's just like a nice it's like a nice business card of like, okay, this is like the Japanese they give it like with two hands, just like, hey, sumasen, and then you give like this is Creator 2025 or 26 when the album comes out, but it just like has everything, so it's still very aggressive, but also like with like a very bombastic chorus, like a sing-along, like sort of stadium arena, just like booms, crawl da, 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 like very melodic. It has like choirs as well. Also the lyrics like deal with so the seven serpents, like seven deadly sins, seven, and then also the choirs at the second half after the solo they go amor fati, which is like a stoicism, so it's like love your fate, and that's something that Milo and I have been you know sort of reading about in the last few years. Sometimes you get annoyed by people or situations, and instead of just like fighting it, amor fati is just like, well, embrace your fate and just deal with it, sort of, it's just like to make it simple. But stoicism is I discovered that from the Chris from Fighting Death Punch, when we both lost a parent, and we
Yep.
were just like discussing how to deal with it, and he said like, oh, there's something called like the daily stoic, and it's just like gives you like a I don't know if you know the
I,
book, but
I love it,
yeah.
man. Man, Stoicism and Buddhism. I'm just thinking, us in our old age, dude, it's something I've kind of started leaning into. And I done an interview with Sabaton, Joachim, and he was talking about that Duelist song on their album. And I kind of dove
Mhm.
into Miyamoto Musashi, got into Zen Buddhism, and then Stoicism. It kind of all kind of flowed in
Mhm.
together. It was bloody
Yeah,
unreal,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. And so yeah, so I got into this, and I'm just like, oh, that's so we've been talking about it while on tour. Sometimes I don't know, someone's just like leaving a comment or whatever, like whatever happened in life. And so, Amor Fati is just sort of because the album, even though it's like it's very aggressive and dark, and the cover as well, and that's the music we do, there is also like it's positive, it's music, it's
Dude.
art, and it's supposed to be, positive, and just like this, love, which sounds like a little strange coming from us creator, but it's all about that in the end. It's just like that's an element of what's important. But so the song deals with that to an extent, and musically, yeah, it just like encompasses like everything that we are about for on this album. So I think that's why it was great to have it like, but it was a no-brainer. I think it was
Yeah.
just like it had to be the opening track on the album and the first single. So I think so.
Yeah, a lot of these songs too sound like they're just absolutely ready to bloody rip playing live, like Crushers of the
Yeah,
World. Sit down. You take any of this barbarian blood of our blood, dude. And as you
yeah.
said, it's kind of aggressive in name, but you listen to the songs, man, you come out of that feeling positive and uplifted, dude. I was like, after this album, I was like, fuck yeah, man, let's do this, dude.
Yeah. That's what it's supposed to do to you. Well, I mean, with that being said, like, okay, I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
t
a
type of
little bit of
negative,
darkness to our positivity, of course, bro.
yeah, exactly. I love My Dying Bride, and it's miserable, and you should see the weather right now
Yep.
outside is like fucking grim. But I think, yeah, out of it, it's either you embrace. Well, I guess it is like Amor Fati is also embracing darkness for what it is
Yes.
sometimes, and you when you
Well,
when you just like, yeah, when you go into like full on My Dying Bride mode, it's just like, but you just like, yeah, you embrace it and you just deal with it. So I guess my point was. What was my point? I love my day, but
Life
I
is
guess I forgot.
suffering, but there's some fucking positive
Yes.
thrash metal like this to fucking play
Yes.
your eardrums away as
Uh,
well, dude. I love the
Exactly.
artwork with Billac as well. It kind of feels like
No,
it
yeah.
brought Pleasure to Kill, Coma of Souls out of the dark and kind of paid homage to those as well with this
Yeah.
piece of artwork.
Yeah. No, he's done an amazing job. I mean, he's known Miller for a long time, but they lost touch, and we were playing in Finland, and I went to see my friend from the clothing company Hate Couture, and he was just there with just selling some merch, and I was talking, and I just turned around, and there was uh, be like just like with all these covers. I'm just like, oh wow, that's the guy who did Ghost and Carcass and that amazing Dark Throne, Chrome. Like, I love that cover, and I'm just like, wow, that's the guy. And he was there, and we started to talk, and he's like, oh, could you give me Miller's number, because I've lost it. And at first I was just like, yeah, because you don't want to give like someone's number
Well, no.
so easily. So that would be easy. Just anyone, just like, oh, can I have Miller's number? I've lost it. Oh, okay. So I was like, uh-huh. Yeah. And then I spoke with Miller, just like, oh, he's asking. He's like, yeah, sure, I know him. Oh, okay. And then I spent the evening, it was like very late in the night, with him having a few drinks, not with Miller, um, with Zbigniew. And we then they got in touch anyway. They got the number, and when we were working on the album, so he was already sending us ideas for the cover, but not just like, oh, okay, here's the title, so that's what I'm gonna do. He was like very detailed explanations, and of course he loves the band a lot, so he knows about the history of the band, and he was just like very much into like we have like the explanation of everything that's on the cover, and there are like some of Easter eggs, and like you said, the font of Crushers of the World, that's the same one as Pleasure to Kill, and as you've got the head, yeah, Coma of Souls, and just like the death also, and just the monsters that could be also
Oh,
Terrible
dude.
Certainty.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's done an amazing job. Like, the cover is really amazing. I love it. So
Dude,
yeah.
you can't fucking beat original art, and I really hope that digital streaming and all this bullshit AI doesn't kill it because you can't fucking beat the amazing art like what he does
Right.
and what all these original artists are doing. Because you see him on the big oil paintings and the original artworks, they're just absolutely beautiful, dude. Beautiful,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I mean, that's. I think it's part of the experience. Like,
Yeah, I do.
that's something we've experienced when we were younger. And I don't know. I don't want to sound like, like I was saying in an interview yesterday. I just don't want to sound like an old man going, oh, well, back in the days, we didn't have internet. We used to go to school barefoot, and just and it was there was no heater, and I got like an orange for Christmas, and it was great. And so I don't want to sound like that, but I think it was great to have like one album, and that's all you had, because you would not like open your computer and just like boom everything.
Yeah.
I've done that for like to do a parallel. I used to I love video games, and I would you have like one cartridge, or one game, and it costs a lot, so you play that game a lot. That's all you have, and then you have like, and even though I was spoiled and I had like, yeah, there you go, I had quite a few games, but still, you have like a say so. But my favorite console was like a PC Engine called Graphics. I had 20 games, and just like, that's great. And some of them were shit. Like, I'm not a big fan of tennis, but I read that Final Match Tennis was a great game, and so I bought it. And I'm just like, okay, I don't really like tennis, but here we go. I have it, so I'm just gonna play it. And then years after, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna get an emulator on my computer and just download all the games I had and all the games that existed. And because you have so much, you just like, buff, you know what I mean? So,
Yep.
and I think with music, it must be it's not, it must be, it is the same. You've got so much. Like, porn would be the same. Like, if you have one cassette, porn, you just like watch it because that's what you have. And
Yeah,
then if you go on, okay,
VHS.
so yeah, VHS going like, and it's anyway. Uh, I digress. So I think there's so much going on that I don't know, but it is the different, like, people must be like, the young people are just like wired differently than we are. But for us, uh, yeah, having like that one album, and you buy it sometimes. I bought stuff just solely based on the artwork. Like, you could
Yep.
not always listen to, yeah, there you go. So you're like, wow, that looks evil. And then you have it, and just like you listen to it and you look at who's in the thank list, and who, all of that. So I don't want this to disappear, but maybe it will, and maybe we are dinosaurs in that sense. But to us, it is still very important, and it is part of the whole thing. Like, you give like a hint as well. I think like the artwork gives a direction, just like, I right there I have like a seventh son of the seventh son, like the artwork. It gives you like that vibe. Like, you don't know the music, but there's ice, so it's
Yep.
gonna be like sort of like, vibey, or somewhere in time it is futuristic because the cover is futuristic. Power Slave, bam, it's just like this is taking place. I thought that everything was taking place in Egypt. I didn't read the lyrics, and also I'm French, because so I didn't pay too much attention. So I think, yeah, the artwork is very, very important, and I think what we have here is just amazing, and it suits the whole thing. Like, yeah, it is part of the package. That was again a very long explanation. I'm
It's an
sorry.
amazingly beautiful package. Everybody needs to go out, grab the fucking physicals, crank it really bloody loud. The neighbours going to want to hear it. Fred, absolute bloody pleasure, mate. Thank you so very much. Crushers of the
Likewise,
World
thank you.
drops January 16th, Fire Nuclear Blast. Trust me, it is Kreator firing on every possible cylinder. Last word, shout outs, thank yous are all on you, my friend.
Well, thank you very much for the interview. Thank you. I give like very long answers, but that's what I do sometimes. Thank you very much. Yeah, I can't see all your shirts behind, but there's like, is it like shout outs to bands that you like?
There we go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. What do we have?
We got Psychroptic,
Sepultura.
yep,
Yeah.
Werewolves, Psychroptic, and a Brahmalan.
Yeah, okay. And what
Yeah.
are the shirts behind?
We've got Battlegrave, New Dead Metal Fest, Northy from Truth Corroded put that on. He's got a shirt over there and another one from a thrash metal band called Wartooth, dude. I fucking got them everywhere, dude. Shit everywhere, brother. That's why
Great.
everyone needs to grab their physicals. Cheers, brother. Thank you so very much.
Yeah.